everybody, what's up? It's Talia Fuentes. I'm a person running for Congress here in Arizona in Congressional District 9, and I am the only progressive Democrat that's running. I want to be entirely transparent with where I stand on the issues. So, we're going to go through the list of things that I believe and that you can trust that I won't ever back down on, because these are uncompromisable values. These are things that I will always stand for and will stand up against the corporate bullshit machine that's taken over our country. Number one thing that sucks: money in politics. I completely disagree with Citizens United. I'm the number one person to tell you I wish money was not a part of politics. I hate it so much. So very much. Citizens United needs to get out. We need a clean elections program. Bingo, bam. That's how I feel about that. Planned Parenthood, totally support it. I think it's very important for a woman to have the right to choose. Why is that even a question? I am for common sense gun control, but I am pro Second Amendment. I do support hunters because guess what? Being from an applied biology background, having done wildlife conservation in South Africa, I understand that hunters are actually the number one advocates and donors and supporters to wildlife conservation. We need to have purpose to the firearms that people own so that we understand what they're doing with them. So they're not going out and killing a bunch of children or standing at the top of a Las Vegas hotel and trying to murder a bunch of people, because that's bullshit. That needs to stop, and I'm over it. I am for expanding our tax code. I hate what they did with the taxes. I absolutely hate what they did with the tax code, and I believe in changing it. I think that we need to make more tax brackets, help spread that out. I think the only good thing that came out of the tax reform that they did was an increased child credit, which I do benefit from because I have a child. I believe in a woman's right to choose in every capacity. I believe that she can wear whatever she wants. I believe if a woman wants to get involved in government, she can. If they want to be housewives, awesome. If they want to have lots of children, great. If they don't want to be childless for the rest of their lives, that's okay too. If you are a Muslim woman who wants to cover themselves, great. If you don't, awesome. We deserve to choose what we want to wear, what we want to do with our lives. That is the root of women's rights and women equality. That's not just women, that's anybody. I think people in general deserve to live the lives that they want to live as long as they are not hurting other people. Mental health matters. And guess what? Black lives matter. When you look at the statistics in our judicial system, it is very blatantly skewed against those that are black. And it sucks. I am pro-police, but I am very anti-police state. That will be its whole own video. Yeah. Net neutrality. Net neutrality is the biggest, absolute biggest thing that I support. ISPs should not be allowed to regulate the internet. Boom. That is bullshit. They are trying to control what you have access to online, and I will not let that happen. In office, done. I support net neutrality. I support that the internet should be a utility. I support Medicare for all. I want us all to have healthcare. We'll do a whole video on healthcare because I have a lot to say about healthcare, but what you need to know now is that I am for Medicare for all. I think that you should have a little bit that comes out of your check every month, just a little tiny bit, less than what's coming out for other insurances, pretty much really comparable to what you're already paying in Social Security. Countries should be responsible for keeping their citizens alive. I mean, that's kind of a bare minimum. It's like every human life matters. I completely and totally support Indigenous people because I am waiting on my tribal citizenship from the Cherokee Nation. I am also Apache, and it sucks that this even has to be a thing, that we are still fighting for our rights as sovereign citizens to this land. Marijuana needs to be legal. Stop marijuana prohibition. I'm so over that. We have so many people that are in jail right now because of small drug offenses whose lives are entirely ruined because of small amounts of marijuana. Transparency in government. Yes, transparency in government. My opponent is not transparent in the slightest. We actually learned, and a report came out that said the police acted against activists and totally violated their right to free speech when we had a Trump protest here. My opponent came out and was completely supportive of the police and their actions. I actually had a video that I put out explaining that I supported the activists, that I completely am behind their actions because I was amongst them. I saw that was not a crowd that needed to be dispersed with such force. An independent investigation found that that was the case. They should not have inflicted that kind of force on that crowd. They did not inform them that they were going to try to disperse. There was no warning before suddenly children and elderly and city council members were being fired on with tear gas. And that night, my opponent stood up and said, "I support the police and what they've done and the strong, whatever BS statement that politicians make." That report shows that the police violated their right to free speech. I believe in climate change. I believe that climate change is real. The reason it's called global warming is because our oceans are warming and they make up more of our planet than anything else. Climate and weather are not the same thing. But because of lack of education, people don't understand that. We need to pay our teachers more because we need to invest in the future of our country. We need teachers who are invested in the future of our youth so that when those kids are on the playground, they're teaching them emotional skills, because that's entirely lacking from our education system. There's absolutely zero education on emotional awareness, on what it means to actually have emotions and how to process them and how to interact and communicate with other human beings. It's our job as a society to make sure that our children understand how to be good human beings. And that starts with having good role models. And that is by paying teachers what they deserve. Science is important. Science needs to be integrated into public policy. It is the future. Those at the top need to be taxed fairly and accordingly. They need to give back to the community and be okay with being taxed a whole lot. And I'm sorry that making lots of money means that you need to pay taxes. We need to separate church and state pronto, ASAP. And it's not that we don't have morals and values. We can have a secular government without having religion be a part of it because we have science. Science is a great thing and it can help us make laws that are actually focused on facts. I mean, you can have your beliefs. You can believe what you want to believe. I am completely for your freedoms to worship and do and have a connection with your God in whatever way you see fit. But I don't believe that your personal beliefs should impact and dictate the rights of other religions or other people's rights or the future of our country. I completely support the LGBTQ community. Just like tattooed people are people, so are LGBTQ people. Their sexual orientation has nothing to do with the quality of person that they are. I think the trans bathroom bills are bullshit. I think that trans women are women. Border wall, oh my gosh, we'd be way better if we were investing our money into a firewall instead of a border wall. And a firewall is what protects our internet and our data and all of those computer systems that our country is run on. I am pro DACA dreamers. I believe that they deserve a pathway to citizenship. I think that we focus too much on the elite immigrant, those that are doctors and those that are researchers and those that are going to help win us Nobel Peace Prizes, but we don't focus on those that are coming to help collect our crops and work for farmers. Those immigrants matter just as much. We need to invest in green energies, but we can't forget those that are working in industries like the coal industry. They need to be retrained. They need to be integrated into these green technologies so they're not being left behind. Yeah, recycling. I support recycling. I support sustainability. I support innovation and sustainability. That's the future of our country is in innovation. I am over corporations running things. That is the root of what being a progressive is. We do not want corporations to benefit when we build legislation or have things that are going to help the American people. They don't deserve to get bailouts when the American people are not getting bailouts. It's not happening for us. It shouldn't be happening for corporations. Progressive Democrats want to regulate the corporations. That's the root. That's the ultimate root. Progressives want step-by-step change, but that is not at the cost of the people and at the cost of corporations. And I'm Talia Fuentes, your progressive Democrat who's going to make that happen. Corporations do not deserve the power. We are setting the people free. And I'm Talia Fuentes, and I approve this message.